Hello and welcome to the third turn, that's turn 12, August 10th to the 13th of GMT's Stalingrad 42 Caucasus campaign, designed by Mark Simonich. Just a clarification, I've got through the comments, which was correct. Back here we had our little battle with the Soviet cavalry here. I was saying that we had ZOC bombs here. In fact, we didn't. This is a free stacking unit. It's just a couple of Stug battalions there, with the white outline around the counter. That has a ZOC, but it needs two of those to form a SOC bond. In actual fact, it didn't really change anything because the cavalry here was attempting to retreat through ZOCs in any two ZOCs in any direction. So it had the ability to do the desperate defence, which worked out well for the Soviets, if not for the cavalry itself. But yeah, just that clarification. Thank you to, I believe it was Andrew, in the comments for that. Let's crack on with the initial phase for the Soviets. Of course, that should be the initial phase for the Germans at the start of the turn. First thing we do, of course, is we get our air unit back for the combat shift. So that's now available. Then we have our reinforcements, and we are still getting reinforcements as the Germans have a decent level. So we have here an infantry division, a Romanian support unit, and a Romanian cavalry. So those are available to come on the north map edge between the two markers here. And once we have those reinforcements there, we can use replacements. Our replacements for this turn on the German side is what is known as a I believe it's a special replacement it's known as. So special ones can be used as infantry, or you can use it for mountain motorised infantry, Panzer Grenadier and Stug units as replacements. So on here we can't use armoured units, and not that one. However, I believe we do have. Do we have a Panzer Grenadier? No, that's full. So I'm not sure we can actually use that. No, probably not. Okay, so in which case it's even an infantry we're struggling, because we've only got our Axis unit here flipped. So I'm afraid that goes by the by, really. We only have armoured units which have losses here, so we can't really use it. Never mind, so nothing on the replacement, and our resource point, as last turn, we will convert to a supply point, so that will be available to come on the top map edge. And that's our initial phase, so let's go to the movement phase. Okay, we've done the movement there. What we're looking at here is a few attacks. One over here, rather than go up against the fortified line there with the guards units there with some tank support, we're going to look at hitting the disrupted cavalry here, because they're halved in defence, although doubled over a major river. So we've got our main stack going that way, filling in the middle here for the moment, if you like, just moving up to Krasnodar. And in the middle here, again, we'll bully this disrupted unit and see how well we go with any breakthrough combat here, to see where we can go. Heading towards Maikop here, of course. Surrounding and awaiting the assault on to Kropotkin here. This, being a flipped unit, is still a two-step unit here, so it's got the narrow band rather than the wide band, so there's actually two steps in here, and then an attack here. So we'll just mark all these attacks. And yeah, that's 4. Over here we've just spread out the Romanian cavalry here, just to effectively threaten to cut off those infantry units from their natural retreat down to the Terek River line here. So right, I'll just sort out those combats. Right, here we go. I've sorted out the values, etc. The colours are a bit wonky, but not worry too much. So here we have an 8 to 2. Attackers are halved. No tank bonus across the river, but we do have the aircraft helping. So it's 8 to 2. It's 4 to 1 with a shift for the aircraft. Here we have a 12 to 2, 6 to 1. Sorry, 12 to 2, 6 to 1. Got 2 shifts because of the elite tank shift here. I've switched this round actually. I've swapped the tank units here, so this one is here instead, the Panzer division, rather than the SS Panzer Grenadiers, to get the extra shift here. So we have 12 to 3, 4 to 1, 2 shifts because of the elite tank shift, two shifts there. And finally here we have 17 to 8, which is 2 to 1, with a shift is 3 to 1 into that city, the shift coming from this support unit. So I think we'll do that one first. I think, get it out of the way. Yeah, our 3 to 1 roll. Is a 5. 5 on 3 to 1. 5 is A1D1 advanced 2, so both sides lose a step. So in this case we lose an infantry step for the Germans, and this will become a remnant here. And A1D1, the surviving defenders must retreat to and become disrupted, or we can do a determined defence. So determined defence here will be in a city, which is decent odds. However, of course, the unit is likely to not survive. We could withdraw from the city here, and certainly, let's see, we could go here. We'd be out of supply, or here. That's probably a better one. So do we want to live to fight another day? The advance is only a 2. So out here, we could... we're not going to get combat against them again, because the Viking, if it goes there, would use up a point because it didn't go into the city. Desperate defence, we're likely to lose, so I think we will withdraw we will retreat through the one sock, become disrupted. I think that's probably the best course of action here. And we have an advance 2. So with these units here, I think we will follow up. I think we would move that way, and here I think we will move to here and stop in that sock. So okay, let's do this combat here. So it's 12 to 3, 4 to 1, 2 shifts because the elite tank shifts. So that's 4 to 1. That's 6 to 1. Another 5. Okay, so 6 to 1 of the 5 is a lot better. It's a defender shattered, so that unit does vanish. And let's pick all these counters up now, and an advance 4, so we can continue to move here. So interesting. Should we possibly head for this disrupted unit, or head across here? Now we would be tacking across the minor river here, so would be doubled. I think we should head pretty much straight for that that unit there and attack. So that's 2 points of advance, 1 point for the breakthrough combat, and we're looking at again 12 here, 12 to 1. So yeah, that will be on the 7 to 1 table, absolutely. And only a 1 though. Oh, it's an A1, D1. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. So yeah, a little bit too much of the hubris there. So the cavalry unit dies, and the cavalry has been doing quite well so far in this game. And who do we lose? The Sturm or the tank unit? I think we need to lose the Sturm. The Stug battalion here, that's worth less. So we put that into the loss box. And so 1, 2, 3, and a 4 can put us here. I think that's probably the best thing to do, I think, to outflank this unit here. Right, okay, so this combat here, let's remove these markers. So we have 12 to 2. 12 to 2 is, of course, 6 to 1. 2 shifts, 7 to 1 on this disrupted unit here. Four, as it's not a cavalry unit, I believe, so didn't do its worst. So 4 is a defender shattered again, so that unit again is removed. And let's remove the markers here, see what we can do. So we have this city Maikop here. Interesting. That'll be a little tough, I think. Defense of 4, no armor shift, so 12 to 4 would be a 3 to 1. Yeah, we could do that. We could head off to clear this unit off, or of course this unit here. I'm inclined to clear this unit actually, rather than trying to have a hack particularly. 12 to 4, 3 to 1. We're likely to take a loss, which would actually end up on that mountain unit. So yeah, discretion better, part of valor. I think we'll go this way. So 1 to here, penalty for not going through the combat hex here. But now we have 12 to 3 with 2 shifts. 12 to 3 is 4 to 1. 5 to 1, 6 to 1. Let's go with that. All 6. Shattered again. So unit is removed. We've used 1, 2 for the penalty, 3 for the attack. And something to be said for... I just thought actually that that mountain unit could not have attacked. Because it could only advance 2 hexes. So let's just recalculate that. So we were 7 to 3 here. 7 to 3 is only a 2 to 1. 2 to 1 up 2 is a 4 to 1. That's a D1 advance 3. So same thing here, but of course the mountain unit can't advance. But we can advance 1 hex more with the tank unit. Possibly here, that causes some big problems here. If we look down here, this is the main route down through the mountains to Apsa, which is a tough nut to crack, I think, having gone through this once. So actually putting a tank unit on the road here could cause some big problems here. So I think we'll do that. Right, and finally we have our river crossing up here, crossing the Kuban, or actually not the Kuban, it's the Protoka River here. So we have 8 to 2, which is 4 to 1, of course. 1 shift with the aircraft, 4 to 1, 5 to 1 on the crossing. Five again. Okay, so that was 4 to 1, 5 to 1, and a 5 is DR4. So a DR4 is retreat 4 hexes and in full retreat. So it would be anywhere as it's disrupted. 4 hexes back. 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. And we have an advance of 3. So let's get certainly the tank unit, and yeah, I think everybody can come across, bar the Panzer Grenadier unit, and right, we have to go into the hex because it's a major river crossing. We can, we've got an advanced 3, so we can certainly move here to threaten to cut off this hex, or force it back here. I think we should. We could move further, but we may have future problems with supply if units get in the way here, and it's not like the Russians don't have a decent number of units around. So I think we'll again be have a little bit of discretion here. Yes, I think we'll leave it as that, because I can't see the Soviets wanting to worry too much about these. I think this guy would withdraw, and we would build on this Kuban river line now, and possibly back here as well. Right, so yeah, that'll do for the combats there. Remove our little markers. Great, okay, so reasonably successful there. We got Kropotkin, although the Russians did survive, and yeah, we've got a bit of a gap here around Maikop, all this, and yeah, and also here. So this center area is not looking very good at all. We've got our motorized brigade here and one division here, so we're in danger of getting towards Tuapse here and getting around Armavir here as well. So it'll be interesting for the Russians to handle that. So I'll just do the recovery phase, which is just to undisrupt this this support unit. It was disrupted because it moved more, I think it's than 1 hex in the turn, so it couldn't be used to fire. And that's all we have on the German side. And in the supply phase, we will start moving railheads next turn. Checking supply, I believe we should be fine, as we are certainly running supply okay for the Romanian carrier and all the Germans there. So our supply is fine, and then we can flip HQs with supply points. So we will use this supply point to flip the 17th Army support unit there as the last part of the German turn. And so next it will be the initial phase for the Soviets. Right, we're now on to the initial phase for the Soviets. No air units to ready. Placing reinforcements. We have a Transcaucasus unit from that group we have here, but we also have a naval brigade as well. So that might be useful. Sorry, it's not focusing quite at the moment. Let me try that again. There we go. Right, brilliant. You can see that now. So with the Transcaucasus, I think we should start building up forces on in the east, over in this way here. So I believe we will put the unit here, and then for the naval brigade, well, I think the best place of it, of course, is over here, and then we can bring it up and up and down the ports here. Right, so we have our resource point to spend, which of course would be a fortification to build. At this point we'll flip this one over here, and so again there's a decision here where we stop building forts over here and start building them down on that river line. We can't build fortifications on rough ground or mountains or marsh, etc. So there's starting to become limited space here to do that. One place we could do that is maybe around here, just to help keep the Germans at bay from Taman. I'm not sure it's worth building here because the Germans are not very far away now. Possibly here beyond the beyond the marsh there might be something to do, or as I say, we can be over here and start building here, which I think probably, yes, I think we'll build over here. So I think we'll with the major river line here, we've got minor rivers here, which I think we will need to cover. We have a city here, which is good defence, and then the mountains. So these 2 hexes here, I think, are quite vital. So we will place a fort there, I think, for that. So that's our initial phase. So on to the movement phase. Sorry, just forgot there that we actually have a replacement as well. So this one is still an infantry, it's not special. So should we spend it to improve a unit or bring back a unit. So one interesting thing we could do is this elite unit here we could add to. That will be interesting because that means that we then have an elite unit on full strength here. That might be quite cheeky. I don't know. I think we have enough around here. I think Krasnodar, well, we're not going to hold it forever, so maybe we should not worry too much about that. And again, we have issues here as well. So, I think possibly bringing a unit down here on the board. I think, yeah. So I think that's where the game is going to be won and lost, over here. So I think we will, create a flip division with that replacement point. Right, on to movement. Right, that's the movement sorted. We did some full retreats here to get back and cover here. So we do have a unit in the city here, Maikop, but we're also covering this this hex as well, which I think is quite important. Over here, we've drawn out of this fortification, with the exception of the cavalry unit, to concentrate here, and we brought units up. So we're looking really to defend this part of the river line now. Krasnodar is a bottleneck, but the Germans can get across. However, it's going to be difficult for them to exploit too much. So I'm fairly happy with that. And over here, we've brought a NKVD unit out of Armavir here to make sure that we've got some coverage here and that there's no further exploitation this way, not too much. Yeah, and then and over to the east here, just it's kind of a joust with these Romanian cavalry units, really. And we've got our guards unit in Veroshilovsk, which is going to take some removing, and yeah, they're going to have to shift some troops over to take that. So I'm quite happy with that there. And of course our slow building down here as well. So there is no combat as usual. So therefore, all we need to do is to do a recovery and supply. So we can certainly do that. supply will not be a problem anymore. We're not in Kropotkin anymore. Krasnodar is fine, and yeah, we can certainly get supply past the remaining cavalry units. All right. And move those, and yeah, I think that's all really. Yeah, so supply phase, I say nothing particularly interesting happening there for the Soviets. So that's really the end of the turn. So we'll be on to the fourth turn, which is turn 13. Next time, that will be August 14th to 17th, and we'll see how both sides get on there as well. I think I was thinking that the Soviets were sort of happier of the two so far. However, this kind of situation here, I think it's very advantageous for the Germans, and it's left the Russians scrabbling a bit, as far as I can see. But yeah, we'll see. So until next time, thanks for watching.